From the fields of ancient Olympia to the streets of Tokyo, the Olympics have transcended the test of time, uniting the world in the face of adversity. The ancient games were a test of courage and a tribute to the gods. Men from warring nations put down their swords and shields, engaging in contests on the field of athletic play, testing their valor man to man, honoring Zeus and achieving laurels of glory. Frenchman Baron Pierre de Coubertin brought the games back to reality in modern time, reborn as a test of mankind, where the goal was not the victory, but fighting well. After the end of a world war that tested the resiliency of man, doves flew from the Olympic Stadium of the 1920 Games in Antwerp as the nations of the world came back together in a global show of peace and unity. In 1936, the son of an Alabama sharecropper and grandson of slaves, Jesse Owens stood up to Adolf Hitler's vision of Aryan superiority, winning 4 gold medals and making a friend for life in German athlete Lutz Long. After the devastation of war, the rebuilt nation of Japan welcomed the world peacefully in 1964. Yoshinori Sakai, born in Hiroshima on the day of the atomic bomb, scaled the steps to the top of the stadium, lighting the Olympic flame, signaling rebirth and the uniting of athletes from every corner of the globe. At Mexico City in 1968, sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised fists for equality. A half-century later, their position is better understood, and the world is uniting behind their stand. A child of Chernobyl, Oksana Masters immigrated from her native Ukraine to America, persevering through physical disabilities from the nuclear tragedy and finding pride as a Paralympic medalist for Team USA. Sport unites lives in unusual ways. When Team USA's Abby D'Agostino collided with New Zealand runner Nikki Hamblin in Rio de Janeiro, their lives suddenly became intertwined. Injured, they helped each other to the finish in a test of courage. 2 strangers finding a personal bond amidst adversity. Warriors for their country, Team USA's Dan Knassen and Melissa Stockwell's lives were forever changed by war. But as athletes, they found redemption under the Paralympic flag for Team USA. For nearly 3 millennia, the world has found a constant in the Olympic ideal. Amidst the trials and tribulations of our world, from the tragic depths of war, and even in the midst of a global pandemic, the Olympics and Paralympics are a panacea that captures the essence of all that is good in mankind. The Games are a unique platform that brings our world together in its darkest hour, rekindling our spirit with the lighting of the Olympic flame. When the youth of the world assemble in Tokyo next summer for the Olympic and Paralympic Games, it will be a time of reflection and celebration. It will be a symbol of our resiliency. Some may measure it in gold, but for the citizens of the world, it will be our symbol of hope. The Olympic movement has always been held up by athletes. Today, in the midst of a global pandemic, it rings ever true. We continue to be inspired by the resiliency of our athletes, who have creatively used this time to better their minds, their families, their communities, and their athletic skills.
Hey guys, it's Leah Neal, Olympic swimmer, 2012, bronze medalist, 2016, silver medalist, and currently training for Tokyo 2021.
My name is Brandon Lyons. I'm a member of Team USA Paralympic Cycling, a silver medalist at the 2019 UCI World Championships, and a 2-time silver medalist at the 2019 Pan American Games in Lima, Peru.
I'm Maggie Steffens, captain of the USA Women's Water Polo team, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist from the 2012 and 2016 Games.
What's going on, guys? My name is Jared Wallace. I run track and field for the United States Paralympic team. I'm a 2-time Paralympian, 3-time world champion, and a 4-time world record holder.
You know, we were preparing for the games to happen this summer in 2020, and with the state of the world right now with the pandemic, the games were postponed 1 year later. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough.
I'm currently training for the 2020 Games in Tokyo, which meant that the postponement was a bit of a change in my schedule.
My good friend and teammate, Olympic teammate, Jacob Pebley, and I co-founded an initiative called Swimmers for Change during quarantine to showcase swimming support of the Black Lives Matter movement and to raise awareness and money for charities that are giving back to the Black community.
So I had moved out of the training center where I lived for 3 years full time, and I bought my first home in St. Augustine, Florida. I had family that just relocated down this way in 2019. So it made sense that way. And then also I can train year round as we're approaching the winter now. So I'll have one more winter to train outdoors as we head into Tokyo 2021.
For me, keeping myself busy has been a top of the priority. Thankfully, my wife and I just had our first son, so I have an 11-month-old in the house right now. We got to watch him grow up. He's moving all over the place and keeping us really busy. I've also taken a new task of trying to learn how to finish our basement, and so standing in it right now, it's almost complete. It's something that I'm very proud of and excited to have been able to do. I added a weight room down here, so I'm able to train at home in a safe environment, so that's been a huge blessing and opportunity to do that.
I quickly had that mindset change of, okay, the games are still gonna go on. I have one more year to get stronger, get faster, and to improve my chances of not only making the team, but to medal at the games. So I quickly just flipped that switch to look at it from a positive and look at it from a negative. But I'd be lying if my life hadn't changed, if my training hadn't changed within the last few months.
So during my quarantine time, I have been able to dive into my interests of one, cooking. I've been doing a lot more cooking, getting recipes from friends, bought a lot of new cookbooks, and just trying to be creative. The second thing that I really kind of dove into during this quarantine time, which is the most important, is my company, 6-8 Sports, which I co-founded with fellow Olympian, Tony Azevedo. And our dream is to really help develop the sport of water polo, but also dive into other, I would call non-TV sports in a sense, and bring data analytics, sports analytics, and an entire development system to the sports to help them grow from the youth up.
Everything that you guys have done, allows people like myself to really chase after their dreams. So thank you.
But now it's time to get back to work, and I'm in full-time training mode for Tokyo.
I'm super stoked to go represent Team USA in Tokyo 2020. I'll be competing in the 100, 200, the long jump, and the 4x100 relay. So stay tuned. We look forward to seeing you guys in Tokyo.
We are Team USA.
We are Team USA.
We are Team USA, and we'll see you in Tokyo.